journal articles that I have written for the Jackson Advocate in particular, because I am still a contributing writer for them. And the last chapter, chapter 5, is a study on small business, the characteristics of small business leaders, and it compares them with some of the greats like Sam Walton, Ray Kroc, who was responsible for changing McDonald's into the conglomerate that it is today.
Wow, so actually this book is a variety of things. Why so many and why so different? Because I know you said poetry all the way up into business. Why so many different angles?
Well, I actually saw Robert Frost did a collection of his poetry, and I've been writing for quite a while, so I thought of doing a collection of my own writings, and it just so happens that my writing covers quite a lot. It covers history, current events, politics, social issues, women issues, youth issues, student loan debt. There are some articles that I've written for the Jackson Advocate that are on my uncle that very few people have read, and I thought if I put it in the book. There's also an article that I wrote on my aunt, who actually started Jackson State's television program in 1994. She was the principal developer, so it includes a lot of information.
And understanding your legacy or your uncle's legacy, how does that make you feel knowing that you're carrying the torch through your writings, through your book tours? How does that make you feel?
It is absolutely amazing to be able to have learned a lot about my uncle and his generation, and I feel very personal that I should use my voice to expose he and his generation to as many people as possible, especially in my home state, because I feel that there are a lot of people in the younger generation who really don't understand what America was like 50 years ago, and I think that we should understand that, and when we do understand that, we will be able to forge a much brighter future.
And I understand earlier today you were speaking of your uncle. He didn't attend that one ceremony because he didn't understand why we were celebrating. Could you describe that, or could you talk about that?
Well, I'm sure that a lot of people are aware that my uncle, James Meredith, was the first black to go to the University of Mississippi in 1962. Well, 50 years later, Ole Miss had a celebration. Of course, I went and some other family members, but my uncle did not attend, and his reason for not attending was he said that there was nothing to celebrate 50 years later because the quality of public education is poor in Mississippi, because Mississippi is almost at the bottom, if not the bottom, in terms of nationally, in terms of the quality of public education. And then now public education has been literally resegregated. And I applaud him for using his voice to bring light to that fact.
Because I actually had the pleasure of interviewing him a couple of months back when he came to Greenville.
Okay.
And he was just showing or sharing with us a new way. I wouldn't say it's a radical approach, but it's very different, involving the churches,
yes.
Creating well, he was going back into like biblical terms, where
yes.
it was, like
yes.
documents with each student to kind of watch each student progress over the years. Talk about that.
Well, he has said that he thinks that the church should keep and maintain a record of every child within 2 to 5 miles of the church, and he's placing the responsibility, the social responsibility of lifting kids in the community on the shoulders of the church. In his era, the church was the center of all activities in the community, including, in a lot of instances, education. So he's asking the church now to get more involved. There was a big gap between the church and the community to get back involved with the youth.
All right, and then just to reel it back to why you're here, what is the message that you want to give to all of your fellow community members?
Well, I'd like for people in the community to understand how important what has happened in the past is to today, and to also look at the problems that are still lingering from the past. For instance, quality education is still a problem in terms of the fact that even President John F. Kennedy said over 50 years ago that when you deny the Negro the right to a quality education, he can never get that back. That's something that he loses and he can't get back. And also, it is connected to our opportunity to get good jobs. And today, we still are trying to get quality public education, and we still need jobs because there is very, very high unemployment in communities where people of color live.
And I've heard your uncle's solution to it all. What is yours?
Well, I think that we have to get involved with our children's education. I agree with my uncle one thing. Grandparents, since a lot of them have more free times, if we could solve some of the problem by making sure that children are well prepared for school before kindergarten. I've heard teachers say it is almost impossible to catch up a child who comes to kindergarten and they don't know their basic colors, reading, writing. I think we need to pull some of the games and replace them with educational activities and books and activities that enhance our ability to master math and sciences.
And anything else you want to add to this?
I just love for people to become connected to me, to like the book's Facebook page, James Meredith, Warrior, and the American that created him, and also to check this book out. It is at your local library, and one of the first people to checked it out last week, Miss Lynette Stanford, and she told me she read the first 11 chapters in one day last Sunday. So I think that that's a testament that it's a book that you will enjoy reading, and it's about history, and also comes up, the last chapter is about closing the wealth gap between the have and the have-nots.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you for coming to the station.
Thank you. I appreciate you.